your questions. So let's give it 5, 4, 3, 2.
And we're live. All right, we'll start first with thanks for coming, everyone. We've launched many a product at 45 before, but we've never launched a new division and a product like this with guests. So we're joined today by our friend, our partner, our co-collaborator in the new product we will be talking about, Joel Zimmerman, or better known as Dead Mouse. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Joel is a prominent EDM artist. Most people know, and if you don't, you do, because you've seen him before in pictures and everything, with the big iconic mouse head, hence the name Dead Mouse. But beyond that, he is just a tech innovator, right? He's got his mind, he's pushing things further. He's been a friend of 45 for a little bit. He's been buying our products. I can say he's our friend because he's bought more than one, so good. And we were talking earlier about how he's got 800 gigabit networking in his studio now, and it's pretty crazy stuff. So again, thank you so much for joining us. Before I dive into introducing our new product line and our new product, do you have anything you want to add?
Is that mine?
That's yours,
Oh.
technically. There you go, my friend.
To add, no, I think you covered it, actually.
What about to subtract?
Subtract. I'd like to subtract. No, I'm good. We'll leave it as
good.
is.
All right, well, thank you for that. So before we get into the product, before we rip off the blanket here, oh, did I do that?
No, it's the excitement level.
It's supposed to go the other way if it's excited.
Yeah, right.
Thanks. I'll be here all week. So 45Studio, launch of the new division at 45Drives. So building products and infrastructure for the creators and working with the creators is nothing new for us. That was one of our big forays into success into the large, dense server world. There was a lot of creators looking to make a lot of 4K footage and store it somewhere. As our friend Joe said, he creates data problems. So where I'm going with this is we know the studio world pretty well, but we were never quite servicing the way that it needed to be, where we really understood what problems they needed solved and how they speak and how they look through everything. Hence why we do the Creator Summit that we do, and why this year was so special. We really got to hear not just about the nuts and bolts of their storage infrastructure, but what they do with the equipment on it. So what 45Studio aims to be is that infrastructure platform for people in this world where they can get accessible but very powerful storage infrastructure that enables their dreams. Jeff, our friend here, I like the way he put his workflow analogy where it's like, it should be invisible. I just put files in the folder, it deletes the old ones, backs everything up, I don't even think about it. That way of thinking of, we shouldn't be teaching creators, oh no, you gotta follow our IT workflow or these complicated paths. That's just not fun. That's not why they're buying these things. That's not why they're looking to just create. Long way of saying that. So that's what 45Studio aims to be. This product that we have here is the first in the line of all kinds that will be coming out. This isn't a one flash in the pan, we're done. We hope to build the infrastructure around it, even showing you some of the workstations there, and you're like, oh, this would be really cool if I could get like a portable little monitor on it and everything like that. So that's why we have these summits. That's why we bring people in to listen and to build new. So, Studio, the first product within the studio, the inspiration for this one, I've told the story a couple times this weekend, so I won't go over it again in detail, but our interpretation of what a silent storage server was not correct for all people. I was like, oh yeah, you can barely hear the fan spinning. And then one of our collaborators were like, no, my equipment can pick up the flap of a butterfly wing. I want this on my desk. It cannot make a noise. But I don't want to sacrifice any power. I need my 10 gigabit, 20 gigabit bonded, I need SSD storage, I needs to be able to capture everything. So with that, we started working on the silent server, as it was first called. And after talking with Bedmos' team and talking to him what we wanted to do, he saw the value in that and jumped on as a co-collaborator. And that brings us now here to today, where we are very proud to unveil our 8-bay, no moving parts, totally dead silent studio unit. Take the top off. And then we've got our SSDs in here. The whole point of this box here is it's got power, it's got speed in excess of 2 gigabytes a second. It can saturate all the networking on there. Capacity's up to, didn't do my homework well enough for this, I forget off the top of my head, Andrew. 70 terabytes higher. And doesn't make a sound. No moving parts at all. As Joel said in our conversation earlier, that's going to be bad for the fan branding if we keep getting rid of all the fans. To which I joke back, most people go, oh, when are you going to change your company to 60 drives? Because we make a 60 drive box too, but I go on. Anyway, with that, I will invite everyone in for comment. No, we're going to do comments after. We're going to move to a stunt. Not only are we just looking at this thing today, this has been running the whole time, by the way. Can't hear it.
It's been powering the whole building.
Don't give its secrets away. That's the second reveal. There's a nuclear reactor. No, I'm just kidding. No, but we're going to do a stunt where we've got a bunch of video editing machines set up over here with our workstation line of computers, and they're all going to centrally edit off our studio unit. So with this, I will hand it over to my colleague Mitch. And do you want me to invite people down, or is that part of your show? That's part of Mitch's show. So, all right, on to Act 2. Oh, you're going to come around. Oh, you're going to.
I got to, yeah, let's go under. All right. Thank you very much, Brett. Okay, I can't move too far. All right, we'll talk here. All right, so before we dive into the stunt, I just kind of want to set the stage of what everyone's looking at here. As you know, we have our studio server.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, well, I thought everyone knew me here. Sorry. No, my name's Mitch Hall. I'm the chief architect here at 45Drives. I've been here for about 7 years. Best 7 years of my life. That is my boss right there, by the way. So we've got our studio server here, and as Brett said, it's been running the entire time. Only a little warm too, and we've got someone over there working on it. It's really an amazing piece of kit.
It's passively cool when we put a blanket on it.
Yeah, exactly. So like he said, we've got two 10 gigabit connections coming off this thing, and what it's doing is it's feeding a 10 gigabit switch over there, a 10 gigabit and a 2.5 gigabit switch. So we have 10 computers. 5 of them are our 45Drives workstations here. These are running 2.5 gigabit. These come in home lab variants, so super high power i9 CPUs, 4060 or 5060 GPUs and these things. So these can be fantastic for home, gaming, video editing, like we're going to be showing off today, and in such a really small form factor. And they're really quiet as well. And then we've got 5 additional workstations that you can't see. They're underneath, and they are 10 gigabit connected. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to show off some video editing over the network. And what we really want to hit home is, you know, a lot of people think that they need to be editing off of their local SSD or their local NVMe to really get the performance, the latency, and the usability. And we're going to show off that that's just not the truth. And then we're going to show off also the difference between working from a 10 gigabit connection and a 2.5 gigabit connection. So to start, I do need a mic that reaches over there, unfortunately. I wonder, do we have one? A mic that can get over here. Yeah.
Here it comes.
Ah, there we go. Thank you.
Look at this guy's got the wireless one the whole time.
Not on the live stream. Not on the live stream.
Oh,
so.
okay, is there a mic?
Yeah, but Chris McGee will get that.
We'll just you almost saved the day, Sean.
Is it long?
We'll be in a minute.
Okay. Beautiful. Oh, yeah.
Holy.
I love that this is on the live stream right now. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Hurt their ears here.
Your company's computer guy.
Okay, so we're going to come over here first, and we have Nick here from NGW Post. Thank you so much for being our, I don't know what we're going to call you, our servant here today. Yeah, so, yeah. So we have one of the 10 gigabit machines here. I don't know if we can get a camera over here as well. That would be really cool. Nothing being like the demanding guy in the middle of a demo. And so what we're going to do first is we're going to show off, he's going to edit off of this thing, but he's going to edit off locally. So this is right running from the actual machine itself. We're not touching the server whatsoever. And he's going to tell us how it feels, right? He wants to get a feel for what it feels like to edit when you're locally on the machine. Once he finishes that, then we're going to switch over and we're going to see if he feels any differences. All right, so Nick, if you don't mind, kind of show off your magic workflow. We can see here, we got some 45 drive footage that he is working on. Let's see, actually, if we can. There we go, maybe not. It's okay though. Oh wait, he's just gonna switch the camera. There we go, beautiful.
Okay, so I've already imported in the footage from the local drive right now,
Yep.
So as you can see, the local drive is immediately, once you hit play, it renders out to the 23976, which is the playback, so that's pretty good.
That's the frames per second?
Yep. Frame per second. So when I hit go, you want to fast forward to the clip, everything runs pretty well. Everything feels really responsive.
Right, so what you'd expect, I guess, off of a local high-performance NVMe.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of jumping around the timeline here, and everything just kind of feels snappy, feels good.
Very, very cool. All right, so now let's switch over to our network attached storage coming from our studio and see if we feel any difference, or just kind of walk us through kind of what it feels like as an editor. Because I know video editing, it's really how well it feels in your workflow, right? It's like if you have to wait for everything, it can start to get annoying when you're doing this all day.
Yeah, any limitations, when you hit play and you see the pinball or whatever, it's just frustrating because you want to get into that groove of editing or color grading, and when you hit play, you want it to go. You want to have everything feel instant. So it's very important to not have any kind of lag or degradation.
And I've also actually got up on this screen here, we've got a little graph here showing our network traffic receiving and transmitting while you're doing this. And I don't want to get yours out of the way though, so we'll just kind of, there we go. All right, so let's get started and kind of see what you feel.
So again, I prepped for this, so I imported the footage from the network. So what we're seeing right here is me hitting play. As you can see, it's instant. The frame rate hits 23976, so it's instant. So as I'm kind of, let me see here. I'm just kind of scanning through it. I'm like, oh, I need to find that one shot of the violin or a woman, and so everything just feels very snappy. I couldn't, if someone were to not have this set up for me, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between local and from the network.
Maybe that's something we'll do next year, is a blind taste test, and let people guess of what it is they're actually editing off of. Maybe we'll do that in a little bit, actually.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, so it's just smooth. It's great. And the best thing about it is that I don't hear it. I don't hear the device. In our office, we have a room. Unfortunately, it's not soundproof, so we do have a hum sometimes, and it's,
as Wendell calls it, the sound of our people, the IT techs. So yeah, no, that's really, really cool, and exactly what we hope to see here. So that's one editor working off of it over the network. But what if your editing shop has 4 or 5 people editing simultaneously? I think that's something that we're going to show off too. But before we do that, maybe we'll take a look at what copying a file from the network over to the desktop it would look like. So maybe you wanted to copy it to your desktop or copy it to an external SSD and see how fast it goes. See if we can get that full 10 gigabit speed. We don't have to wait obviously for the whole thing, but let's just kind of see what that looks like if we were to copy either way.
sure.
Okay, so we're on the video share here now, and he's copying the file.
Yeah. So this file is, I think it's 132 gigs. So I'm gonna copy. I'm going to desktop, so it was, for speed and proper, we'll still on desktop. Let's see, oh, did I copy? Oh, yeah, I did. Paste. And then it's going.
Okay, and it is going at about just under 1 gigabyte a second, which is just about saturating our 10 gigabit connection there. So what we have is we have one 10 gigabit connection going directly to the 10 gig switch and one 10 gigabit connection going to the 2.5. And so we're able to saturate that entire 10 gigabit connection while we're transferring this file here.
Yeah, so 140 gig file, it's going to transfer in about 2 minutes. The other thing that in post-production is the worst is when you have to transfer over footage from a hard drive to the NAS so you can start working, and you have to wait, an hour to get it, and then it slows down the process, and then you're working later, and it's just not fun.
Yeah, absolutely, right? If you're trying to get the deadline or something like that as well, and you're just stuck waiting for hours on end. Okay, really cool. So that is exactly what we expected to see, about a gigabyte a second out of this thing, saturating that network. And yeah, you can see it on the graph. We're peaking right here. There's 10 gigabits there, and we can see we're peaking right up at the top. Okay.
So I did stack the project of, let's see here, up to 8 different times. So the footage is still transferring. If I hit play, everything, all the footage is stacked up, and let's go to 8. So 8 different times, so it's still hitting back the play, the frame rate almost immediately when I hit play, and it doesn't seem to really slowing down the transfer at all.
Oh.
So I'm transferring footage over, and then the footage I already have on my server, I'm able to work immediately. That's even better.
Yeah, that's really cool. So just to reiterate, that transfer is still going on, that 10 gigabit transfer. It dipped maybe 100 megabytes a second at most, and now he's still able to video edit. So it's not like I can only do one thing at a time here. I'm able to do both simultaneously, and it's not going to affect my workflow.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, cool. So maybe we'll stop the transfer because we don't need a 130 gig file on that desktop at the moment. Okay. So next, I think what would be really cool is maybe we'll head on over to one of the 2.5 gigabit workstations. We'll get you to do some editing on that and see if for what we're working on, which is like a 4K project, is there a real tangible difference between single client connected to 10 gigabit, or is 2.5 going to be able to meet the needs? You want to give that a shot?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. I'm going to try to move in front of this camera. I'm not the most graceful person, if you couldn't tell. There we go. Oh, there's lots of chairs there. Kicking dead mouse out of his chair. Big man, oh my goodness.
I assume it's one of these.
Yeah, any one of these are. Who wants to grab that camera? Okay, so we have a project here that loaded up, is that true? Or are we going to load a new one up?
Yeah, we'll load it. I know we've turned things off here. Hold on.
Okay, perfect.
So I just want to make sure that we can see that it's coming from the server, yeah. So boom, footage. Oh, right. All right, so yeah, so I'm starting fresh. I already made a folder on the NAS footage. This is like all
8 videos, yeah?
Yeah, yep. Boom, they're all there. I'll join into my timeline.
That was instant, right? Like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, there was no lag. Sometimes when you have larger files and you drag them over, there's that hang, and you're like, oh my God, it's gonna crash, but it didn't. So, all right, so I'll just hit play. So yeah, so again, it hit 23,976 instant. Yep. I even jumped 18 minutes into the project. So here, let's kind of move around here. It's a little dark.
Oh, we're doing some color work here too.
So let's really make it brighter here so we can kind of see what's going on. So yeah. So I mean, like I said, I don't feel any difference between the 10 to the 2.5.
Right. Maybe if you're doing like raw 4K editing, it might make sense to go with the 10 gigabit, but for this, right, it looks like it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, this file is a ProRes 422HQ, which is generally a lot of times what we get for a lot of the stuff, and so it seems pretty accurate.
Right, or even maybe like 8K if we're working 8K or something. But yeah, even still, it looks like it's snapping around the timeline really, really quickly, which is much more of a random operation than, like, if we're playing a video, even hard drives are really good at that, right? Just playing through. But where SSDs are going to be fantastic for your workflow for a video editor over the network is when you're jumping around that timeline, when you have multiple streams simultaneously. So yeah, really, really fast.
Yeah, it feels really good.
Okay, so that kind of shows off the power of this thing, all very, very quiet. Still, hold on, let me see if it has anything to say. Nope, guess not. All right, so what I would love to do next is get some chairs up, if someone can come up, maybe Colby or Braden, and anyone that fancies themselves a video editor. We'd love to see if we can saturate this thing and see if we can get 10 people editing 10 people editing simultaneously and see if we're able to kick this thing over, if it's going to be able to handle it no problem.
Don't be shy. Come on down.
DaVinci Resolve.
How many more we need?
Oh. So we've got 1, 2, 3 so far.
Video editors in the house. Let's go. Come on down.
Awesome. Take anywhere you want. I mean, at the most, you can just play around with the timeline. If you don't know how to video edit, yep, there you go. Yep.
Still need one more, maybe 2 more.
I know, this guy. He's just ripping around.
You good, Mitch?
Yeah, I think we're good. We got quite a few, maybe not quite 10, but we're almost there.
One more. Who wants to come mess with the timeline? Don't have to edit video.
Maybe, yeah, if you sit next to Tom, he can kind of show you what it is you can do there. So how are we feeling so far, guys? Any glitching, any stutters?
Not
So
yet.
far, so good.
I'm up to some chaos first.
Okay. How are we looking, Jeff?
Looking fantastic. I've got 3 tracks with transparencies on all of them, and it is tracking as smooth as anything. It's great.
Perfect.
I did 4 tracks with transparency, always one-upmanship, and I've got a little bit of stutter.
Okay, a little bit of stutter with 9 people going as well as 4 tracks simultaneously. What are you doing over here?
I'm just moving this thing around, man.
All right. Yep. All right, what do we got over here, guys? How's it look?
It's smooth as butter.
All right. And you are looking at a black screen, sir. Okay, here we go.
This is a lot faster than iMovie.
Okay, I'm going to head over to Tom here. Maybe I'll head the other way. All right, what do we got going on here?
We're just watching Brett talk really, really fast, scrubbing the footage really fast. So high speed, but no lag at all. I'm adding even more. I chose this because he already stacked the timelines. I already had a bunch of stuff on there, and I wanted to compound that, add some more, cut it up and move it. But yeah, this is just butter.
So you tried to break it.
How about you? What do you got going on here?
I'm experimenting. I've actually never done this before.
She's learning how to edit in real time.
Perfect. Let's just click a bunch of buttons. Very cool. So there you have it. I think the servers.
But you know what? As far as my workflow goes, this is how a normal timeline might be, 4 or 5 clips stacked up like this, and so nothing like transparency like that. And so I'm going through and I'm able to go through and color grade this and while everyone else is still working, you know, so it's like you can see I kind of made it kind of trippy looking. And it plays back, and I'm able to do my work while they're all working, so there's no, yeah, I'm impressed.
Yeah, really, like, I mean, and it's not super common that you're gonna have an editing house where absolutely everyone is hammering it simultaneously, but, I mean, it even still holds up, even if you do. I hope there's a lot of people thinking about questions while we're doing all this. Okay, what do we got here?
A little bit of a stack.
How many do we have stacked?
7 with 2 effect layers, and it's like, but that's local, right? It's the media, I think it's just like kind of caches it in RAM for like a little bit,
yep.
and then, but the decode is still happening on the source file, which is coming from the media bay over the 2.5, right?
This guy 2.5,
Yeah. It works. Just don't do this.
Yeah. And you're still just clicking away, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're going to seek some questions in from you guys while this is going on. Who's got a question? Yes, sir.
My main question is, how are you cooling it? With no fans.
The question is, how is the box being cooled with no fans? Brett or Mitch?
This is a great question for Brett. Brett is our technical director who was head of engineering for a very long time, so I will let him field this question.
Okay, I'll field it first by saying I didn't listen to you at all. Can you repeat it?
Question is, how is the box being cooled with no fans?
Great question. Oh man, I wish we took the top off. Okay, so the size it is we are passively bumping it out these heat sinks on the side mainly. If you get in here and look, and I'm short a screwdriver right now, so we cannot do this, but we've got pictures we can show them, whatever. I call it the Dr. Octopus, and it's a custom heat sink we built, and it's got about 8 or so arms that come off it, and we attach it to the heat sinks on the side here. So that's how we get the heat off the CPU, which is the big driver on that. The SSDs, same concept. The cool heating part that we kind of didn't realize how much it was going to make a difference, like the chimney effect, is we've got this, well, I guess what we call the chimneys, 3D printed, and there's 2 chips on the motherboard that get particularly hot. Yeah, sure, here and here, it's kind of hidden behind, but the one here is the heatsink that sits on top of the chipset that drives the 10 gigabit network interface, and the other one is the heatsink that sits on top of the Intel chipset that makes everything run. They get ridiculously hot if not have air move over them. So the way we passively cool everything else works well, gives it a good ambient temperature in there, and then with this chimney effect here is you can actually feel a little bit of an airflow up over it, and it just conducts the heat up, leaves, and then we passively cool it that way. So we've just done some very, the custom heatsink is what's doing most of the work there.
Yeah, if you've ever used a really beefy CPU cooler with a lot of heat pipes, that's what it looks like. And there's a ton of heat pipes with vapor chamber that essentially heat up a bunch of liquid, vaporizes, moves the heat with it, and then it moves it across.
Do we have a screwdriver here?
I think Colby's looking for one.
If someone finds me a screwdriver, I'll take the top off.
Yeah, it's pretty mean looking inside, I'm not gonna lie. Lots of copper.
Cool.
Any other questions?
Maybe. Yes.
Do we have any
If we
questions?
can't find the screwdriver, we'll come back to it. Oh, here.
There we go.
Here, Braden, you get to answer questions while I speak.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
Just kidding, thank you for being down for anything.
So look, I just want to make another comment. When you passively cool things, we have some other passively cool workstations. I think we're running some of them over here. And these little guys, they're lower wattage. They're easy, right? You just put a big block of aluminum. You see that case there? That's machined out of a solid block of aluminum, makes thermal contact with the CPU. Everything's cool. Everything's cool. This thing, the problem is there's so much heat if you did that, and like when a lot of people try to passively cool computers, they end up too hot right over it, and you end up with a safety problem. You'll burn yourself. So the active vapor heat pipe thing was the solution to that. But both of them work, and yeah, and the chimney thing, yeah, there's the chimneys, yeah. Yep.
3D printed.
Yep, yep, I put her in the camera there, and we get a shot. We are, on which one? That one? Where am I? Yep.
There you go, there it is.
Joel, you didn't know we were putting you to work today, buddy.
Okay, that's it, and there's,
It was in the mail.
and there's our heat pipes in this baby.
Yeah, and then so that's the Doc Ock I was calling it. So it runs and it attaches here, 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 and here, the side of the chassis.
So that whole thrust of dead silent, and our whole studio division is going to be built around quieter to dead silent, because when people are pursuing their creative arts, as I said, making it transparent, your creativity into the computer, you shouldn't be thinking about the network or what's behind it, and you shouldn't have noises, you shouldn't have distractions. So yeah, that's our flow on that.
Yeah.
Awesome, another question right here?
What's the upper limit of the amount of CPU you can put in there because it's fast to cool?
You're asking us hard questions, Alan. I can't give you a simple answer on that. I think, you know, look, on this approach, we can go along. We should be able to get up to many hundreds of watts. I think we're around 170 watts coming out of this, or somewhere around 170 right now. Could easily double that, and then we just have to make it bigger. We gotta get more heat sink area in the sides. So we can go a long distance in this. So.
More surface area.
Yeah.
Questions?
Well, if you made it full rack size, you could expand.
That's right. The whole idea integrating with a rack. This is vapor, and the whole thing is going liquid too. We're just going to explore it. Getting that out of there, not having irritating fans. I hate fans myself. Nothing I hate worse than in my desktop in the side of my head. Yeah.
I have one for Doug, and for all three of you guys, Brandon and Mitch. Since we're showing a video editing application today of the box, could you give our audience some ideas as we think about 45Studio? You know, we're talking VFX, we're talking game developers, we're talking music, you know, Pro Tools, we're talking lots of other applications. What would be some other use cases people should go away with today in their heads for this box, of things that could be done other than kick-ass video editing?
Yeah, I think you mentioned most of it. Anything that's highly data intensive. Number one, the ability to store all kinds of data transparent to you. If they wish your phone. I take a lot of pictures of my phone for some reason, not for the good photos, but, and then all of a sudden your short photos you want to trim down and you want to file stuff. My God, that's a hateful experience, filing stuff. So large space. Okay, we have a lot of data to have a large space for it. Number two, this thing on NVMe and solid state, the ability to just have the stuff there just like that. This thing has so much bandwidth in here. We're kind of squeezed down. There's way more bandwidth than this thing than can go through these two cables. Exactly. This is two 10 gigabit lines. You know, and when you're building out studio, and you know, this really focused at the independent artist, studio, etc., and you know, networking. When you jump up to only special people own 100 gigabit networks. So we're
He's on 800.
800.
Wow.
I'm dizzy just thinking about going at 800. But you just get more transparency, right? It all gets out of your way. If you have 800 gigabits, it's about the server. This thing's going to serve that. It's going to make it happen. What's it mean to you? It means no hourglasses. It means responsivity, butter smooth. That's what it means. So you know, that whole studio world. I think those things are meaningful in that world. May I add one other thing that we tried to put in this, and Joel is helpful in his comments on this and guidance on this. We wanted to kind of look cool too. It is cool, and we want to kind of look cool. And anyway, I'm really in love with the way this thing looks and feels.
It's got kind of like, I don't know, like a cyberpunk-ish vibe, I feel. I really like it.
Yeah.
Oh, testing. All right, another question.
Yeah, have you guys tried that with the new large capacity, 100 plus terabyte drives?
No, not yet.
Yeah, these are SATA. Oh, let me take this. There we go.
I'll go. Yeah, no, not yet. First one, SATA. So they're pretty much stopped making big old dense SATA drives. But the next product line in there is the investigation NVMe and getting it faster in that. So to answer your question, no, but we're going to get there. Yeah.
They were fun in store data.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And that's what's going to be coming through in this, the next time thing around it, is pretty sure it's going to be what we call tri-mode, which is you'll be able to, swap in and out SATA, SAS, or NVMe. And and one of the big things getting the speed out of it's not just the speed of the media, is when you put 8 of them across and they run in parallel. That's when it gets really, really fast. That's when things go blazingly fast in that. So.
Thanks for putting me in wicked over there.
Oh. Whoa, look at that. They scare me. Oh.
You can't see it.
Can't see it.
But you don't want to.
Question for Dead Mouse. I don't know if Dead Mouse, if you want to share anything about your home lab practice or anything you're working on right now that you're excited to tell everybody about?
Sort of. I mean, I can only get so deep due to a Bible-thick NDA with a company that shall be not unnamed. But the reason we actually switched over to like Mellanox cards for up to 800 gig per second because I'm working on a markerless motion capture system that uses 10 4K cameras running at 60 FPS. And it's not so much that, I can run all the cameras and then just throw them on a 100G switch and then that works okay, but it's that data needs to be written and stored for future use because part of this new, you guys can look it up, actually, it's a public thing called Captury, and it uses machine learning and optics, no markers or anything like that for 3D tracking human skeletons with finger motion and everything. It's actually insane what they're doing. But the big bottleneck or the barrier of entry for using that kind of system is the amount of cameras you need to do it. So typically you could get away with 6. We use 10 just to make sure we're getting the right amount of interpolation between all the cameras because they're just basically being piped down into this one, basically 100 gigabit data stream of information, of video information coupled with the ML that tracks your thing. Now the reason for the data storage is that we would like to also record the video data of the capture in the capture volume because what you can then do with that is you can process that stuff as opposed to doing it live. Like Capture is meant to be a live thing, so you can get like 70 FPS armature motion and stuff like that, and then basically all of that ML plus video is like whittled down to vertex information, which is nothing, and that can be sent to, say, Unreal Engine to move an armature, which is great real time. But if you want to really finesse, millimeter movement, you're going to have to process that video, kind of like rendering versus real time, so you can get in between frames and stuff like that, which means the software would have to queue all the data from all the cameras and look at in-between frames and then calculate those points to get basically skeletal movement over 120 frames per second. So, queue the storinators, queue all the 45Drive stuff, is you need the bandwidth to be able to access all 10 video streams and store that for takes that you deem as good, because a single 30-second take of motion capture is something to the tune of 30 gig or 100 gig sometimes. It just depends on how many cameras we decided to optically record the video information, which is like rasterized raw video at 60 frames a second at 4K. So it adds up. Part of my journey with this particular project that I'm working on was we need storage and fast storage, because I need to be able to recall that take and instantly be able to change cameras and all that stuff. So that's kind of one use case for why I need so much bandwidth and why I need so much storage, and storage with good bandwidth. Does that answer it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome.
Audio's chunky too. So I run 32 channels of 192 kilohertz audio at 24-bit which is nothing compared to video, but it's still chunky, you know, and if you're just, you know, working on music and stuff like that, and you want to pull up a track that you've file saved as to your network storage versus locally, worked on it locally, and then when the project was done, you can consolidate it all into a folder and then move it over. And even just having good transfer speed to do that is cool, but it's even cooler when you can work directly off your network access storage, which I've been doing for the last 8 years, you know, with the 45 drives. So I've never saved anything locally for two reasons. One is the technology and the software, right? So my computer shits the bed or something like that. It's like, oh God, I've never, ever had to go, I used to, back in the day, go to a data recovery specialist because of a fire, a flood, an act of rage, you know, whatever happens, you know, to that machine, you know. I visited some dodgy website and there goes all my data, you know. So it's good to have that centralized because cloud storage at the time was not the play, because it's great to let that sit overnight so you have a redundant copy of whatever, but you can't work from that. So that's a whole bunch of applications. I also use my network access storage for project repositories for Gits and stuff like that, which connect to the net, where, you know, some of my other employees can access a game development project or any kind of file repository and stuff like that, where changes are being made online that reflect on the network access storage. So lots of use cases.
Any more questions?
I want to see what Nick's got cooking up there.
Nick, he's Shrek.
Can we get a camera in that? Which camera's like, Chris? There we are, right there. Yeah, we got it. Yes, yeah.
That's good.
There's the well-known YouTube personality Brett Kelly there and his with his new skin.
Send us a production assistant invoice, Joel.
So just to kind of mess around with the footage while people were editing, I decided to kind of make him look like the Hulk, but kind of menacing. So I made a vignette to make him look evil.
Your Wicked Witch vibes there.
Yeah, from Wicked, yeah. So yeah.
Very cool.
I think that's all for questions. Doug or Mitch or Brett, any wrap-up stuff?
Yeah,
Anything you want to say to this Cape Fear audience specific to these students that have come out today?
Yeah, main thing is thank you very much. Really appreciate coming and sharing this moment with us. This is a whole new road opening up for us, and those of you interested in the arts and the like, love you to have a look and watch us as we move through on this journey, and hope you guys get to do some exciting stuff in your careers as you move along. Last thing, tonight, we are at the
Django's Playhouse. We're having a get-together. You guys are welcome to come by.
Okay, starts at
4 o'clock?
Yes.
4 p.m. and we'll be hanging around till about 9. Creators will be there, and we should have some fun and tell a story and doing all that kind of. Anybody who likes karaoke, come on by, and it's a wrap up for this. But anyway, Brett.
And just on behalf of Mitch and the demo team there, thanks Nick for jumping in. You made that so much cooler by really knowing what was going on. Doug said at the beginning of it, we buy lasers from Cincinnati, but tell them, your laser doesn't work. Well, we don't. We build lasers. We don't cut metal. So it's, again, we build servers. We don't necessarily use the stuff. So thanks again, Nick. And for anyone who doesn't know, very, very accomplished video editor at NGW Post, his own company. Go check out the live stream, the recorded talk the other day. This stuff about color theory and how that all works was great. So thank you. Thanks again for helping.
One other thing before we go, too, it's important that we recognize Dead Mouse doesn't get through Wilmington very often. It's not part of his tour schedule, and we just thank you so much for making time for us coming down here and being part of this.